Welcome back to Farm and Hammer, everyone. We've got some inclement weather coming in today. Right now it's sort of just drizzling, and later today it's supposed to start raining, and then the rain is supposed to turn into snow tonight. So they said anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of snow in the next 12 hours. But on today's list, I'm trying to get some things prepared for the snow, and that just means making sure the calves have plenty of hay for the next 4 or 5 days. And it also means getting a bunch of feed mixed up and ready to go. But last video I mentioned that I'm getting into the stalker calf business. Gonna buy a couple hundred stalker calves this year, and I'm planning to start buying a few here and there in February. So we're getting close. But before I get any stalker calves, there are a number of things that I need before I can bring them home. The first thing on the list was panels, and I'd been on the lookout for new panels, used panels, pretty much anything for a decent price. And the new ones are just way too expensive for what I'm gonna use them for. And I need panels because I'm bringing stalker calves in. I need a place to put them where they can't get out, where I can get them electric fence trained, and then once they're trained, I can kick them out onto the pasture. So they don't have to be anything fancy, and luckily, I was on Marketplace yesterday and I saw some homemade welded cattle panels. They're 8 foot long, there's 27 of them. So I told the guy to take them. I hopped in the truck, hooked up my dad's panel trailer, drove an hour to pick them up, got them all loaded on the trailer, and as soon as I pulled out of his driveway, I noticed the wheel on the trailer in my mirror. It was wobbling back and forth, so the bearings were completely shot. Luckily, the guy I bought the panels from, I happened to break down right next to his driveway, and he pulled me in there. He just so happened to have some old used bearings laying around in his shop, and he lifted the trailer up with the skid steer. We got the new bearings put on. Then, since it was an hour drive, about 45 minutes into the drive, the other bearing, I looked out through the mirror, there were sparks flying. So I pulled over. Luckily I made it to a truck stop, and luckily I wasn't super far from home, so my dad came and got me. I came back later that night, picked up some bearings, got the bearings replaced on the trailer at like 11 o'clock at night, and long story short, eventually got it home around midnight. So that was a whole ordeal. But let's take a look at the new panels. It's still drizzling, so I'll try to keep the camera out of the rain, but you can see you got them all strapped down, and these are heavy duty. Yeah, they're pretty stinking heavy. So yeah, metal frame on the outside, and then they've got just cattle panels welded here, and some of them have slots for pins. I don't know if I'm gonna use those or probably just wire them all up. If I want to add pins, I can always add circles later and throw pins on, but there are a few with pins, and like I said, there's 27 of them. They're all 8 foot long. A couple of them are an inch or two short, but they're pretty much 8 foot long. And then since the guy he had sold all of his cows, he didn't have much use for anything anymore, and so he threw in this walk-through gate. It's a 4 foot walk-through gate. Once again, homemade, all welded, and it is pretty heavy. I'd say this gate by itself probably weighs 200 pounds. Me and the farmer got it loaded, but it was a little rough because we could get it on one of these, we couldn't get it on the other one. It was too short, and it wouldn't fit on our board that we used there. But luckily, the slot here that closes the gate, that fit right over this pipe here, and we got it on there, got it strapped in, and we were good to go. Anyway, now I've got plenty of panels to get some stalker calves. Next thing on the list is some sort of head gate or head chute. Ideally it'd be portable, but we'll see what I can find in the next week. Alright guys, so it has started raining. It's supposed to turn to snow here in about an hour or so. But now that it started raining, I'm gonna try to get some work done here in the shop. So you saw me bringing a bunch of stickers for stacking wood. You haven't seen a sawmilling video in a while, and that's because I was sawmilling, I don't know, it would have been 3 weeks ago or so, and I had made a number of cuts on this nice maple crotch. And midway through, I made the final cut. I tried to raise the saw head to bring it back and start cutting again, and the saw head would not raise. It would go down, but every time it went down, I couldn't get it to go up at all. So Ended up going all the way down, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I had called Wood Miser to see if they had an idea. They said maybe the shocks went bad, so they sent me a new set of shocks. Turns out the shocks were not the issue. It was actually a pin inside the handle that had snapped off on the inside. So I took it to Wood Miser, took them 2 or 3 hours, but they got it fixed. And so we're back in the sawmilling business. And so to make sure that the sawmill was actually working and functioning again, I didn't want to ruin a good piece of wood. So I put on some tops of some red oak trees. They're only 4 or 5 inches around. Not very big. Just decided to cut some stickers because I do have a lot of red oak to cut here in the future. So that's where these stickers are from. I was just trying to make sure the sawmill works and to prepare for some red oak lumber. Anyway, I'm gonna get this cat off of me and get some stickers stacked. Alright, so here's my stack of stickers. I know they're not perfect, but I try to get them stacked as evenly as possible. And then here, I've just got some of the cut-offs from those short logs that I made these stickers out of. And I'm just going to throw these on top. These have got some cracks and big holes in them, so they're pretty much just going to be used for extra weight on top of these stickers. And these stickers don't take long to dry, especially when they're in a warm shop. So I don't plan on cutting a whole lot of red oak yet, but it should be ready for me in the next month or so when I start cutting. So there's 500 pounds of feed. This is actually a new kind of grain that I haven't fed to the bottle cows yet. And when I was at the feed store today, the store owner, I was going to get some more 50-50, and he said, you do know the stalker grower feed is the same price and it's higher protein. So I didn't even know they carried this, and I didn't know it was better than the 50-50. So, and it was the same price. Anyway, so we're going to try this feed out. Got 500 pounds of it, and I'll keep mixing it with their bulk feed, feeding about half and half. So one of these bags opened up when I was unloading them, so without the straight pallets. The 50-50 had some whole chunks of corn. This is all finely ground, but it's not powdery. Young calves hate powdery feed, so the more pellets you can give them, the better. So guys, just wrapped up feeding the calves. You can see they've got their grain. I don't know, you might be able to see the steam coming off their backs. It's starting to cool off here. The rain has since turned into snow, so we'll see what this amounts to in the next 12 hours. But you saw me give them their hay bale. The last bale I gave them, it took them 20 days to finish it, so don't have to worry about replacing that for a while. But other than that, the main cow herd is doing perfectly fine. They've got their hay. They'll do fine in 6 or 8 inches of snow. It's not actually going to be that cold, so they'll be okay. And that should be it for winter weather prep. And like I said, the next week or two I should be getting quite a few stalker calves, so stay tuned for those videos. Not only stalker calves, but new equipment and all that sort of stuff. So anyway guys, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all next time.